welcome back. Thanks for joining me tonight. This is going to be a general reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for April 15th to the 30th, 2021. Okay, let's see what messages we have here for Virgo. Okay, Virgo, let's see here. Okay, what I can see here for you, Virgo, is that right now you're in, you're at a time where you're having a difficulty understanding your identity. Okay, you received the Ace of Pentacles. It was in reverse. So you're really having a difficult time understanding who you are these days. You've been spending some time thinking about this question, and it's actually been making you feel a little bit anxious. You're not really using a lot of trust here and faith in the process. But having said that, you are going through a big shift. So you feel this anxiety because this is very unfamiliar territory that you're in. You're going through something right now that's quite unfamiliar to you, and it's happening because you're on the journey of self-discovery. So that's good news. It's not all in vain. This is happening for a grander purpose. You are really learning about who you are right now, and it's being challenged. The idea of who you are is being challenged by our friend, the Death card. Whoops. And he has shown up in reverse. Now, the reverse Death card is slightly more intense than the upright Death card because, the upright Death card really implies a rebirth. But when it's in reverse, it really implies a resistance to that rebirth. And I can see that you're feeling resistant because you're not particularly trusting of the process right now because you have the Hangman in reverse. And you also are sort of at the very first step of understanding who you are on your path of self-discovery. So my friend Virgo here is on the path of self-discovery, starting to feel pretty anxious about the fact that their identity is changed and hasn't taken form yet quite solidly. And, you're feeling resistant to this change. What is death ultimately then, changing form? You're going from one form of yourself to the next. And in order to do that, some things have to go. Now, I see that you are no stranger to having to walk away from things. In the past, we see here the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a period where you have walked away from something and walked into the unknown, unsure of where your path would take you. And typically, this can be a painful time for you, but in the past, you were able to do it. In the past, you were able to acknowledge that those 8 cups are empty and that it's time to walk away from them. But I see here that something else is going on in the future. You've got the 5 of Cups, which suggests another period of loss for you, Virgo. You're really going through a big renewal here. You're really going through a big shift. And like I said, sometimes, when those big shifts have to come through, things get left behind. And that can be a very emotional time for you. Now, what's being sort of brought in here for you, Virgo, is the Hermit energy in terms of how you're feeling on the inside, which is actually promising in the sense that the Hermit knows that there is value in solitude, that's where we gain our wisdom about who we are. And since you're on the path of self-discovery, to see the Hermit as the card of your inner self, how you see yourself, this is really good news if you are doing it. If you're truly taking time, Virgo, to be with yourself, to understand this situation. You are resisting it though. So I'm feeling like maybe this Hermit card is advice. You know, it's time to tap into that hermit energy so that you can really understand the lesson in these situations that you have endured in the 5 and 8 of Cups, as well as in the Death card here. You are being reborn. So it's time to take the space you need from the world to go inward and really reflect on this new identity that is taking shape, which, you know, you're really unsure of at this time. You're not sure how it's all going to come out, but that's okay, because, you know, again, you've got the Hangman in reverse. So I know right now you're trying to fill in all the blanks and you're trying to figure everything out on your own, but really the answers are coming. You know, you don't have to rush this by asking questions at this time. Right now is a time for you to just heal and to understand the process that you're going through, and trust that whatever is unfolding so that this rebirth can occur, so that you can transform. The outer manifestation that you're putting out into the world during this time is that you've got you're fiery, you know, you might even be triggered. Like, you might be having reactions. I can see that your biggest hope and fear here is that others will misunderstand you. And so right now, what people are understanding about you is that there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of soulful fire behind you, but it's not being directed in any way, shape, or form. And it's sort of out of control. So you're a little unpredictable. You know, you're a little unpredictable right now. So people are seeing that in you. The outer manifestation is sort of on par with how you're feeling in terms of that Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and that, you know, you're sort of all over the place right now in terms of your new identity hasn't quite taken shape, because, you know, you're still needing that time in solitude to let the process unfold on your path. You know, you're going to perceive other people as a threat in a little bit of a paranoid way. And, you know, it's your fear. It's your fear that you're right. Like, it's your fear that your paranoid feelings are correct. It's your hope that they're not. It's your hope that, you know, it's just that people are paying attention because they have faith in what you're doing. But it's your fear that, no, indeed, it's your fear that their thoughts of you are negative, and that you have this sense of paranoia sometimes when it comes to the way you think other people see you. It's very interesting, Virgo. You're really going through a difficult time with how you see yourself. And as a result, that is causing all kinds of outer manifestations of yourself. You know, we've got a paranoid version of you. We've got a really hot-tempered version of you. We've got, you know, a version of you that is in solitude, a version of you that is a little anxious, a version of you that's on this path of self-discovery. And ultimately, this is really only the really true version of you. And these are all of the stages of your self-discovery that you're unpacking and ultimately going to form an identity from. That will take you into the future. Now, for your final outcome card, you know, it's a card that can really be one that brings up a lot of anxiety for people. So I'm not necessarily going to show it to you just yet, because I want to talk about it first, okay? I want to talk about it, and then we can have a look at it. Now, the card you received really does signal that you had a rebirth, okay? And that you're going to recover from it, okay? It really talks about, because you received it in reverse, this card talks that there could still be doubts and low self-esteem in your mind, but that overall you are starting to recover from this. And so that is a good thing, okay? Now, it really does suggest a sense that you're going to sort of refer to all of these ordeals that you've been through as being the primary sort of pillars of your rebirth, okay? So you're really going to conclude this timeline, Virgo, with knowledge of who you are and what purpose of all of these lessons was. The card that you received that I speak of is the Ten of Swords, but it's in reverse, okay? When it's not in reverse, it suggests that yet again, you're, in a situation where you're going to resist. Because it's in reverse, it's actually a sign of recovery. It's a sign that you are in recovery and that you understand the truth behind every single sword that is in your back. And that you are really moving forward on this path of self-discovery, and forming an idea of who you are in this new evolved sense. That is very, very encouraging for you, Virgo, after all of the things that have been, going on for you recently, as I can see in your reading. Now, I do want to give you a word of encouragement here. So I have another deck. I'm going to pull a card for you. Okay, let's see. Words of encouragement for Virgo on their path of self-discovery that is ultimately going to end in their recovery and rebirth and all kinds of truth. Ooh, thank you. Is conflict and chaos. Now, the conflict and chaos card really is about opposing forces coming together, albeit turbulently. The atmosphere might be turbulent. However, once everything, all the former parts of you that you no longer need and that no longer serve are all stripped away, and after it's all said and done, after the storm passes, so to speak, there is a reordering of things that will happen, which, really signifies this rebirth that you're going to be in, this recovery that you're going to be in. You're really going to be in a place where it's time to sort of like, I think of it as like cleaning up the chaos after the storm passes. It's like there was a huge storm that passed through your life and brought about all of this stuff, all of this debris, all of this change, all of this stuff. And now that the storm is gone and the sun is out, you can really, start cleaning up. Start bringing order to the chaos. It really also sort of reminds me of this Hermit card, that is your word of encouragement, is like you need to bring in the focus, right? Like bring everything into focus. See this process as a storm that is passing through your life, Virgo, that you will withstand and understand and then clean up all the stuff you need to clean up after to bring in a new sense of order, a new identity. Once the work of the Hermit is done, you will have this, will I get it without tipping everything over? There it is. You will, I'm sure, have this renewed sense of raw energy that will really help formulate who you are in this new timeline as the Fool walking down the path, right? Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight, Virgo, for this reading for April 15th to the 30th. And if this reading has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email is in the description box below. Okay, thank you again for joining me, and we'll see you again very soon for some more readings. Okay, take care, everyone.